בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
You shall love Adonai with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your might. Take to heart these commandments I give you this day. Remember and tell all your children to live by my ways. Speak of them when you're home, when you're on your way, when you lie down and get up and go about your day, as a sign on your hand and upon your head, on the side of your doorposts, my commandments may always be read. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Please remember, observe all these words that I've said, to live and be holy for years straight ahead. For I am your God, out of Egypt I led. Be holy, be righteous, remember the words that I've said. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. You shall love Adonai with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your might. Take to heart these instructions I give you this day. Remember and tell all your children to live, oh, to live and remember my ways.
Look around the world, look around your town. Every single age is represented all around. You see them everywhere, every street, avenue or boulevard. Anywhere, any beach, any park or any yard.
The door for generations and generations, and the door
Ecclesiastes said one generation goes and another generation arrives. He got it wrong. For years we all live side by side.
Can you lean on those who arrived here before? Can you learn from those you remember being born?
Can you see that we are all together evermore?
The door for generations and generations, and the door for generations and generations, and the door for generations and generations, and the door
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple Emanuel, sitting around the fireside Friday night. It's so nice that we can actually sit. This reminds me of the pandemic period where we would do the whole service sitting down because of the cameras and all that, but it's nice that we're here together on a Friday night. How good it is, how pleasant it is that we're together for Shabbat. Just sing Maya Fehayom to get started. I think it's on page 10 of the Siddur.
Or on the screen. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom.
Maya Fehayom, Maya Fehayom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Maya Fehayom.
Maya Fehayom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I would love to invite Peter Thompson to come to light the candles. And the reason why we're inviting Peter up is because on Wednesday we met up at the AJU for a Beit Din and Mikvah, and he is the newest Jew on the face of the earth. Well, at least he was at that moment. So Peter, if you could come up to light our candles for Shabbat tonight, would be really wonderful. We're on page 2.
Shabbat Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Peter. So as we move forward, we come to that point where we bring ourselves from the week into Shabbat. This is my favorite time of the week, really is. Every week is so filled. You know, I like to think that the world was created in 6 days because in 6 days a world happens to us. And sometimes we have a fantastic week. Sometimes we have a challenging week. I find, as I sit here and I think about what happened to me each week, that it's kind of a mixed bag. I could look at each day and I say, wow, that was a great day. And then I look at the next day, I'm like, that one was difficult. Not that it's a roller coaster, but it's the spectrum of experience that each of us has during the week. So when we come here, we're coming in to bring ourselves to a different space where we can kind of think about our lives and look at the world a little bit differently. So let's go through our week. From Saturday evening last. If you can't remember where you were last Saturday evening, don't worry about it. Whatever comes into your mind when you think about what this week was, that's where you're supposed to be. So let's take a moment now for Chazarat HaShavua, a review of our week. We continue to welcome Shabbat on page 20 as we move to Lechadodi, page 20. Let's sing together. Shabbat. us rise and face the door. That is not the Sabbath bride right there, but the Sabbath bride, we welcome her in to our space.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בנה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Let's stay standing as we turn to our major prayers, page 28, Shema and her blessings. We begin with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Turn to page 34. In a moment, we'll say the Shema. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. As we prepare for the Shema, if you would like to close your eyes, you may, and just feel your body in the seat. See if you can feel the energy in the room around you. If there's one line that connects us to each other and then at the same time connects us to everything in the universe, this is it. It says there's a oneness like no other, and we're part of that oneness. So as we sing the Shema, let us connect with each other in the world.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malachuto Leolam Va'ed. Let us continue now on page 40 with words from the book of Exodus, Micha Mocha, that moment where we were free at the Sea of Reeds.
So I've introduced this one. I'm going to look at my music so I don't mess up. This is by Cantor Jackie Raffi, who went to high school with me and is now the senior cantor at Shabbat Shalom Temple. And so I'm bringing this Sephardic melody to us. I don't know if you've heard it, but you'll catch on. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei vele, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei vele, Malchutecha, Rauvanecha, Malchutecha, Rauvanecha, Okei Hayam, Lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osei vele, Osei vele. One more time. Micha mocha, ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha, Nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, Osei vele, Osei vele.
Let's go 2 pages over to page 42. We turn to the Hashkivenu prayer. It's a prayer for the evening to help us sleep better tonight. So as we go to sleep, it's dark, we're alone, our thoughts can take over. This just says, let us have a shelter of peace come over us so that we can sleep easy tonight. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Vehamidenu shomreinu lechayim, lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Vehamidenu shomreinu lechayim, lechayim. V'taknenu be'etza tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha.
Let's go to page 46 now. We'll rise together, just this first line together, and then you can go silently through the Siddur to about page 62. Just a reminder, there's some beautiful poetry on the left side of the page. And as you go through the Amidah, you may find yourself stopping at one prayer, and that catches your eye, catches your mind. That's okay. Maybe that's where you're supposed to be tonight. So let's rise together. We'll do the first line, and when you're done, you may be seated, and we'll continue in a moment.
Adonai tzvatai tivta, Adonai tzvatai tivta, ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi
As we end the Amidah, I'd love to go to page 253. We're going to end the Amidah thinking about those people who we love that are in need of healing. So we'll sing the first half of the prayer, and then I'll come around and gather names from all of us in the room. Who are you thinking about tonight that's in need? And then we can take a look at the lists we have on... actually, I have a list I'm going to read first. Then there'll be people on the chats that also you can put in your names of the people you're thinking about online. And then we'll come back and we'll sing the second half of the blessing. So, Misha Berach. Bless the ones before us Ida Akiba, Charles Arenberg, Grace Blaustein, Marlene Breyer, Vicky Braslow, Jill Kahn, Eitan Chaim, Richard Chernock, David Childs, Ann Childs, Woody Clark, Jay Clement, Iris Cutler, Richard Dickies, Judy Fenton, Patty Goodman, Andy Hale, Helene Hale, Michael Itzak, Sis Klein, Kathleen Agnes McCarthy, Sheila Merowitz, Missy Paikin, David Pick, Howard Rosen, Dorothy Salkin, Sandy Silas, Lindy Sobel, Mabube Soleimani, Bill Terry, Phyllis Torse, Irving Villesanor, Harava Harona Bat Tzvia Yosef, Halina Wachtel, Petzl Bat Gittel Ve'echel, Sonia Ann Weggy, Michael Wolin, Yudit Bat Nechama Mordechai, and Howard Zelikow.
David Kunkel, Karen Alexander, Judy Fenton, Nancy Robinson, Kathy Murray, Stephen Greenwald, Guy Allison, Lois Lebman, Rita Newman, Lupe Diaz and family, Audrey and Judith Bennis, Mary B. and family, Linda Pathy, Jerry Ann Cohen, S&O Berman.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. There are so many interpretations as to why the Israelites messed up so much and were punished so much and had so many horrible things kind of happen to them that they may have been responsible for. And all of the failures have consequences that they happen. And you know, especially this year, looking at it, I got very frustrated by some of the biblical characters. In the last 3 Torah portions, we find that the Israelites as a community and as individuals fail up to be who we're supposed to be. 2 weeks ago in Bahalotcha, there's the famous scene with Aaron and Miriam complaining about Moses' wife. Basically, it's the first example of gossip that occurs. And Miriam's then afflicted with a skin disease, and then they have to pray on behalf of Miriam, and of course she is healed. So don't worry about it. Miriam is healed. Then, last week, in Shlach Lecha, you have the 10 spies who don't believe that they're going to be able to conquer the land. And they go against God, who says, yeah, you'll be able to do it. Just go and tell me what the people are like. And they come back and they're like, no, we can't do this. They don't have faith in God. And they're punished. Actually, all the Israelites are punished that they're all going to stay in the desert for 40 years because of those horrible reports that they bring back. Then, by the way, there's a whole group that decides we're going to go up anyway, and they all get killed. So just to let you know, Connie, I know you're interested in that. This week, we have Korach. Korach is probably one of the most famous of all of these scenes because it's the one where we really call out Korach as somebody who starts a rebellion against Moses and Aaron, and everybody knows that Korach is this horrible guy and does a horrible thing. Now, at first glance, all three of these acts, if you just heard them, wouldn't seem so bad, right? Okay, so Miriam and Aaron, they're gossiping about their sister-in-law, right? And then they come back. They give bad reports of the land because they're afraid and they don't think they can make it and they have very low self-esteem. Is that really something to, to get on them about? Is it really so bad what they did? That we could discuss ad nauseum, but it doesn't seem like it's so bad. And then we come up on this week, and what Korach says in his complaint to Moses and Aaron and the whole community, he says, quote, "You've gone too far," speaking to Moses and Aaron. "For all the community are holy, all of them, and Adonai is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above Adonai's congregation?" Basically, aren't we all the same? Aren't we all holy? How come you get to be you're the person that's the leader? Did we vote you to be the leader? The answer is no, right? And why couldn't it be that Korach was leading the people? Shouldn't we have, a vote to decide who's going to be the leader of the people? Shouldn't we at least make it democratic in some way? I'm just asking these questions to you. But how could we disagree with that statement, right? All people have that Spirit of God that's inside of them. The commentators, though, point out to something that we all know, but we need to be reminded of. Rashi points out that Korach, quote, took himself away. It says, Vayikach Korach. He took himself and these three people away from everybody, away from the congregation, and that he was actually only acting for himself. He separated himself from the rest of the community for the sake of maintaining a dispute. Rabbi Simcha Bunim of Shishka, who's one of my favorite rabbis just to even pronounce his name, he said that Korach was blessed with many positive attributes. And indeed, he might have been a worthy leader of the Jewish people. But he was not given such a position because he took himself. He did not wait until he was offered leadership, but sought to take it by force. That's why Simcha Bunim says he didn't deserve to be the leader. That makes a lot of sense to me. But in the end, when I was thinking about what all of these people did, it comes down to, as it does many times, to intention. Even when someone is worthy, even when someone's a leader of a community like Miriam or like Aaron or like the spies who actually were the chieftains of their communities, or like Korach, who was one of the leaders of the Levites, even if you are a leader of the community, it is the attitude about who they are that leads them to their demise. That whatever we do, even if we feel it's right, must contain within it an intention that leads to goodness. And that it's it's interesting. I wrote here that it's for the right, but there are many times where we think something is for the right, then it's not necessarily for the right, which we find in Nadav and Avihu, right, who bring strange fire to God. But as long as our intention is to bring goodness, peace, love, kindness, if that is intended on bringing peace to the situation, not a direction that leads to fear or self-aggrandizement or shame for another person, then we're starting to walk down a path that we can be proud of. But the failure of those Israelites that I've mentioned already tonight they're not mistakes made by people who did not know. They were made by people who were in positions of power. And because of that, they had influence on people. Miriam and Aaron had to know that what they were saying would hurt Moses. The spies had to know that if they brought a report of fear, it would make the Israelites afraid and uncertain about their ability to go into the land. And Korach had to know that his dispute would cause a revolution among the Israelites. After all, he calls the entire congregation forward to protest. They were in the position of power, and they had influence on people. If you want to join us tomorrow morning, we're actually going to look at the differences between having power and having influence and how that works in society. So, little tease for that. So, I'm thinking, how can we not be like these people, right? Because all of us do actions that we might question in ourselves. So how can we act unlike these people? And I believe it's kind of like examining your intention in certain situations, understanding the influence that we have on a given person or a group. Will this action cause pain to someone else? Am I saying something that another's faith will wane? Am I doing something only to gain power over someone else instead of making life better for everyone? I just think this is kind of a nice little lesson that we can take with us, that we can derive from the actions and the words of the Israelites that have been in the wilderness for about 2 years at this point. So may we have the insight to understand ourselves better using these stories so that we can question our own influence for the good. Shabbat Shalom. We're gonna conclude our service now. We're on page 282. We're gonna go to Aleinu. And if you are ready, able, and willing, please rise. 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated, and we go to page 294. We turn to Kaddish Yatom, and before we do so, I'd like to call our attention to those in our congregational family who are observing Shloshim, the first 30 days after the death of a loved one. Gloria Boraz, Warren Roston, Dr. Irene C. Casorla, Dana Maltz, and Deborah Rhodes. We also recall those that have died at this season in years past: Stanley Jackson, Thelma Collin, and Francis Hale. And if you look up on the screen, you can see those names of those in our congregation who have died on this Shabbat in years past. Just take a moment to see these names.
Also Roger Scott and Warren Weiss.
So I'd like to ask if there's anyone in the room that is in the midst of Shloshim, the first 30 days after a loved one has passed, if you'd stand and tell us who you're here to say Kaddish for. Is there anyone here observing a yard site on this Shabbat, the anniversary of a loved one's death? If you'd like to share that name, please. And is there anyone in the first year after the death of a loved one who would like to share that?
My dad, Morris Paul.
Any names come up online? In addition?
Yeah.
So let us rise together in solidarity with those mourners who are among us. And we say Kaddish Atom for those names that we've seen on the screen and that are in our hearts. We also say it for those that have no one to say it for them. Say it for all those lost in the Holocaust, for those lost in COVID-19, and for those that are lost in the violence of recent times. We say Kaddish Atom together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to the whole world. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
We have a couple of announcements.
Announcements.
I finally don't have to announce a big concert or something like that. Things are a little quieter for the next probably 4 weeks. Sarah, do you have announcements up there? Join us tomorrow morning for Shabbat Morning at Emanuel, and we will hear Torah. Rabbi Aaron will teach. We'll be right here.
Yep.
Please join us.
10 o'clock.
You know, it's only 2 more weeks until Rabbi Leori Alvin is here. So it'll be really exciting. You'll see a different face sometimes in the circle.
Right.
I'm bored of our
I'm
faces.
sick of the one on the left, yeah.
You want to say something about this?
Yes, on Sunday from 2 to 3:30 at Temple Isaiah, we'll be having a wonderful event. It is a 1 LAIAF event. This is one of the major social justice. This is the major social justice work we do with the synagogue is through 1 LA. It is, but this particular one is actually being hosted by us, Temple Beth Am and Temple Isaiah, and it's a discussion with our clergy and Katie Yaroslavsky, who. Actually, it's interesting, has a connection to Temple Emanuel because she's married to David Yaroslavsky, who went to our day school. And as a matter of fact, my first day here 27 years ago was day school graduation. And David Yaroslavsky won all the awards in the day school, like best student, best Hebrew student. But I'm like, who is this guy? Well, now I get to meet his wife. But it's going to be a wonderful conversation. And we are going to be asking her to agree to certain things that will help make, number one, the homeless problem that we have in Los Angeles, that's very big, and also mental health that's happening amongst Los Angelinos. Those are really 2 of the big subjects that we're going to be talking about and getting her to really act upon. The more people that are there, the better it is, and it should be a fantastic conversation.
I think it's great for people to get involved in 1 LA.
Yep.
We've done the Songs of Freedom concerts are with, St. Bridget's Church, who we would not have the connection with if it wasn't for our involvement in 1 LA.
This is one of the largest social justice branches in Los Angeles that works with faith-based organizations.
I asked once how many people they cover. It's over 25,000 constituents in the 36 organizations that work together.
It's really amazing.
lot of
So
people.
please join us at 2 o'clock at Temple Isaiah on Sunday.
I thank you. If you have little ones, Bim Bom Family Jam with Miles Platt, who's back from Berkeley College of Music for the summer. So starting July 22nd at 9 a.m. So little kids on the yard, 0 to 5 years old, please join us. Is that it, Sarah? Oh, there we go. Please join us with a warm, warm welcome for Rabbi Leora Albin 2 weeks from tonight. We couldn't be more excited. It's been a long time coming.
Do you notice how her circle's a little bit bigger than ours?
It is. We've been demoted. It is. Oh, I haven't even seen this.
You do have a big musical Shabbat to
I
say.
better start writing it. Signed, sealed, Shabbat, it's yours. Am I off to a
boy.
good start? Now he has to start listening to me write these lyrics for the next 2 months. Save the date. It's Stevie Wonder Shabbat, August 25th. It is a big event. It is wonderful food, huge production value, silly lyrics by me and meaningful ones. And I'm going to try and look as cool as Stevie Wonder is. No?
You'll have to grow a mustache.
I don't think I can do that. Can I see that again? That was so... Oh, that is so cool.
You can
Good
look at it
work.
at home when you...
I'll
when
just
you
stare at
yeah,
it, yeah.
Exactly. Make it into a poster.
I just want to say thank you to Helene, who's in the back. She's our head of accounting. So we have a lot of staff here tonight.
Sarah, thank you to Sarah.
Thank you to Sarah back there. Thank you to Bill, as always. Thank you to Sarah Heiner, our executive director. If you haven't met her, please say hi. And Amanda, who's sitting 2 rows in front, who is HR and Sarah's executive assistant. And what?
And a newlywed.
And a newly,
That is true.
most importantly. That's it.
Yeah. How are we ending?
Oh, say shalom.
If you'd like to rise, put your arm around the person next to you, do a little Jewish swaying at the end here.
I also want to thank Tanaz,
Don't worry
as usual,
about
for
it.
greeting online. Thank you, Tanaz. Oh, say shalom bimromav.
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav.
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen.
Yadalai. Yadalai, 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 yadalai,
Baruch atem b'voachem, baruch atem b'tzeitchem. You're blessed as you came into this house. May you be blessed as you go forward. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.